Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another show of Abbotsford Small Business, where you can indeed find us at abbotsfordsmallbusiness.com. If you'd like to give us an email, our address is abbotsfordsmallbusiness@gmail.com. Our phone number, if you're in Vancouver, I do not want you to pay long-distance charges, so phone our Magic Jack phone number at 778-800-0246. And for those people in the Fraser Valley that want to get a hold of me, I'm going to give you my private, not-so-private cell phone number, 778-908-5759. I'll put it on the lower third of this video. Now, today, by the way, you see me sipping this? I'm going to take another sip. For all you fellow podcasters out there that battle phlegm, and everybody battles phlegm if you ever eat dairy products, milk or cheese or yogurt or anything like that, and you get a little phlegm on the throat and you want to clear it really quickly before you do a podcast show, just take a glass of water, put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Yes, apples. It can't be vinegar, straight vinegar. It's got to be apple cider vinegar with what's called mother. Now, mother is the stuff. It's the white stuff on the bottom of the bottle of apple cider vinegar, and shake it up. 2 tablespoons in here with 2 drops of oil of oregano. Oil of oregano fights infections. And then I put something called blue agave. It's a natural sweetener. It's like a sugar, and diabetics, it's safe for diabetics, so I put a little bit of that in. And it's really refreshing, and it just cuts, I'll tell you what, when you want something to cut through the phlegm, oh my. That'll do it. Now, today's show is quite interesting, and it's going to be called Another Study in Service. I had a little issue with Sears a couple of months ago, and they're on the list, by the way. And to their credit, they came and fixed it, but not until I had to, how should we say this? I had to re-educate them a little bit. But finally, I got what I wanted. So, bad on you, Sears, for making me angry and upset. Good on you, Sears, for saving the day. But you didn't go far enough, in my opinion. Anyway, this podcast is going to be the Customer Service Hall of Shame. Now, I have to tell you that this is an unscientific podcast. It's an unscientific study. And I will put the link in the lower third so you can see where I got the information from. And some of the companies that are on this list will surprise you. Some will obviously not. But let's start with, there's 10, and let's start with number 10. And that is, actually, that we're in a tie between Dell and HP. Now, this study is, they look for things like customer service, and are you taking care of the issues, and are you handling customer complaints, and all this kind of stuff. And at the end of the podcast here, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing all this. And it's to show you that, customers are blogging about your company. And I'm going to put this under the heading, I've got one of the pages on one of my websites says, Corporate America, your blog awful. And these guys that are on this report, your blog awful. You're not getting it together. So Dell and HP were tied. Now, I happen to love HP. It's because I used to work for them. Indirectly. I was a technician for HP, and I fixed their printers and their plotters, and they make a fantastic product. And they also made desktops, and they made notebook computers. They also owned or bought, was it Compaq? And they're in a little bit of trouble now that they've got a new leader at the helm, and I think she's going to do really, really good things for Dell. Anyway, Dell and HP are tied for the number 10 and the number 9 spot for the worst customer service. Okay, so this, as I say, this list may surprise you. Now, number 9. Guess who it is? Number 9 is Tim Hortons. You wouldn't think that anyone would complain about the service at Tim Hortons, but it is true. Certain people are saying that the service is really, really a lousy service, and the servers have no personal manners. Says people wait there for 20 minutes or so just for a cup of coffee. Now, maybe they're a product of their own success. If they're so busy that you can't properly wait on your customers, that's another issue. But it was surprising me that number 9 was Tim Hortons for the worst service. Number 8 is one that, see if you can guess ahead of me, which companies are known for very, very poor service. Canadian Tire. It is Canadian Tire, and here's what they say. Return to the Giant Store says, comment to Tracy of Canadian Tire workers, there must be a standard taken by teenage employees. I think what they're talking about is the young age of the people that Canadian Tire employs. Perhaps these people don't have the social skills or the maturity level in order to handle customer complaints. It's one thing to hire employees. It's another thing to have those employees treat the company that they work for as their own company, as if they owned it. I don't think there's enough of that going around these days. Number 7 on the list, and these are pretty big companies. Number 7 is Walmart. And what this person is complaining is that as soon as you go in there and find, you're looking for something, and you ask someone there, and one of the people say, well, it's not my department, I'll go get somebody, and then they disappear, and then you're lost. And then you finally find what you're looking for, only to stand in line for an hour. It seems repeatedly that this study is about a lot of people standing in line to get something. Again, they may be a product of their own success. So Walmart might be judging, that's good, isn't it, if people are standing in line for a long time? I know perception is everything. I know people do not stand in line at Walmart for an hour. Come on, let's get serious. Number 6 on this wonderful list is government services. And I'm talking about hospitals. I'm talking about Revenue Canada. I'm talking about provincial and federal programs, Citizenship and Immigration Canada as well. They are number 6 on this list, government services. And let's face it, hospitals and government service, and not too long ago, a couple months ago, I was in the hospital for 7 hours, and wow, what do you do? That's a long time. Number 5 is near and dear to my heart because, as I said in the beginning, or did I mention in the beginning of this podcast, I had a little bit of an issue with Sears, but they fixed it. So number 5, according to one reader, shopping at Sears is so bad, even employees of the store admit they do not shop there. Wow. Now, okay, so we're coming up to the biggest surprise of all. And let me tell you, out of the top 4 companies that are known for terrible service, 3 of them are companies in the exact same field of business. You're not going to believe this. Are you ready? In a tie. This is a tie between TELUS and Air Canada. So that's number 4 and 3, tie, right? TELUS, terrible service. The telecom, regrettable, top 4. Our reader Carol writes, after 3 years of dissatisfaction with the BC-based cell phone outlet, hell would have to freeze over before I sign another contract over with TELUS. What is the deal with these contracts on these cell phones? To be honest with you, the United States, they don't pay as much as we do for phones or contracts. Check it out. I mean, it's sad to say, and I'm embarrassed to say, that there's a big disparity between what we get in Canada, the service and the level, and the pricing, and what they offer down in the United States for cell phones. Okay, so that was number 3 and 4. Number 2, guess what? Number 2 is Rogers. And here's what they say. Said Air Canada might have invented poor customer service, but Rogers has perfected it. They think nothing about lying straight out and then denying that they said it. Dozens of commenters wrote long passages about their frustrations in dealing with Rogers. Yet Rogers is not at the top of the list, ladies and gentlemen. Guess who made it to the very top of the list? Okay, so now I said three companies do the same thing. We've talked about TELUS. We've talked about Rogers. And you guessed it, the company that is number one at Customer Service Hall of Shame is Bell. Now, I have had issues with Bell. I am with Bell now. And trust me, the only reason I am with Bell is because I got it's the only place I could get a Atrix 4G. That is the only store that got an exclusive. So, trust me, I'm not a fan of Bell whatsoever. But here's the point that I was trying to make with all of these companies from 10 to 1. When you see the comments about all these people, they take time out of their day to go on the internet, to log on, to search through the company's listings, and then blog about them. And believe me, this is not the only report. I went on the internet. I've been on the internet a couple of times now, a couple of days, and you would not believe the things that people are saying about some of the companies out there. It is just, most of it I can't even say on the show because this is a family show. So here's the deal. When customers get this upset, it's little blogs, aren't they? Right? They're writing their own little blog, and it is a negative blog. I am just waiting to see if I can find one employee out of Bell, or out of TELUS, or out of Rogers, that they will allow to blog about that company in a positive light. Listen, you must, and this is a message to Bell, Rogers, and TELUS, you must have employees in your company that love coming to work. You must. And if you don't, you're in big trouble. Here's my suggestion. Let those people that just can't wait to get to work in the morning blog about your company. Because honestly, when I read the comments, and I don't have time to read all the comments here, but when I read the comments about the poor level of service that these conglomerates are offering, it is terrible. And here's what it's doing. It's hurting their image. It's hurting their branding. It's hurting their future growth. It's hurting their stock options. It's because if somebody's looking for a cell phone and they see this list, the top 4 spots for customer service are the only games in town. There's TELUS, Rogers, and Bell. I mean, it's all of them made it. There wasn't one telephony company or cell phone company that is excluded from this list. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the employees aren't blogging as well. I mean, employees should be your best advertisement, shouldn't they? And if they cannot be your best advertisement, then you have to change some policies. Here's my suggestion to the telephone companies and the cell companies. You have to start treating your people as if they were your best clients. Because as soon as you start to do that, then your best clients, which is obviously your employees, will start saying nice things about you. And this is what I say when if you're not blogging about your company, who is blogging about your company? I'll tell you who. It's the people that take the time out that put these reports together. It's the customers that take the time out that you've mistreated so badly, and you've ticked them off so much that they're just livid. They will tell. if a customer has had a bad experience with a large corporation or a small corporation, it doesn't matter. They will go out and I'll bet you for a month they will tell the same story to everyone they meet, whether they know that person or not. Isn't that sad? That's why I feel that if you are not blogging, if you're not allowing your employees to start blogging for your company, you're missing a huge opportunity. Your employees should be your most powerful spokespeople. Your employees should be your best trainer. I did a blog, last year now, where I was in a sales meeting and I suggested to the corporation that they take their best people, and if they want to train internally, let them blog about it. Sit them in front of a camera, sit them in front of a microphone, and let them teach their secrets of success to other employees. Instead of bringing out, here, okay, is this weird or what? Companies, huge corporations will spend millions of dollars bringing outsiders into a company to train when they've got some fantastic people inside the company that are already quite qualified to train. You'd better start letting your people blog about you in a positive way to combat this, because trust me, this was only one report. There is enough reading on the internet about poor service that the large corporations, especially these 10, it could keep you reading for days. And it's a shame. Why allow it to get to that level? Get your employees to start blogging about your company. And then see what that does is it just helps you tremendously with branding, because I have not seen one employee that I could find that is blogging about the company they work for in a positive light. Well, that's all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. This is Rick Holland for Abbotsford Small Business, where you can find us on the internet at abbotsfordsmallbusiness.com or send us an email. Keep those emails coming, folks. abbotsfordsmallbusiness@gmail.com. Remember, we could be at your business next time. Take care. Bye-bye.